So you disagree with what I said today?
Man, every take you've had has just annoyed me to no end. Let's start with the asterisks.
This final's an asterisks final.
What championship is not affected by injury in some way, shape, or form?
Well, the Super Bowl last year. Well, I guess Gurley was hurt.
Thank you very much. That's the example I was going to make.
What about the finals last year?
That's so long ago. It's not the final. You mean the Western Conference finals, because that was the real finals.
So you don't think I'm supposed to look at this and Klay won't play and KD is out and Steph is hurt and Biggie. How do I not think about that?
Kawhi Leonard is clearly not 100%. Kyle Lowry is playing with a bad thumb. It is a battle of attrition. There are always going to be, and probably your stars when it comes to basketball, carrying the load. You're going to have guys that are compromised. And it really becomes a survival of the fittest or the deepest. And so it's part and parcel with what happens. And I feel as if we are advertising everything that's going on with the Warriors, which is, by the way, understandable because this is their 5th straight finals. Yeah. This is the way physiology normally works outside of LeBron James, is that bodies break down when you play this many games, this many times in a row. That said, the Raptors are far from 100%. You could make the argument that their 2 best players are not anywhere close to 100%, and yet we haven't talked about that at all.
You don't think the series is over? Golden State?
No, not any. The Raptors had open shot after open shot. Watching the Warriors, I do not believe that they can stop the Raptors. The Raptors can stop the Raptors, but they have the opportunity to take wide open shots, and I would fully expect that they're going to make more than they're going to miss.
Okay, let's talk about Klay Thompson. What's your gut feeling, your info this morning? Because I don't think they can beat Toronto if KD and Klay don't play. When's the next game? Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday is the next game. I would expect that Klay will play. It wasn't because he continued to play after the initial injury, which tells me that the leg locked up more than there was a tear.
Okay.
And so I would expect that they can get him right. But they are playing a high-risk game with the long-term health of any number of players. Andre Iguodala, he said it himself. It's not smart that he's playing. DeMarcus Cousins, 28 minutes, not smart. If KD actually comes back, I can tell you there's people close to KD who have said he should not play. This is not a smart move by him. Now, KD is a gamer. I'm sure it's killing him. But if you were planning on playing him in game 3 and 4, then why are you sending him across the country and back again with a soft tissue injury? It makes no sense. You would keep him at home, allow him to rehab, save him that trip on a flight with everything that goes along with that, and allow him to get ready. So I don't know, and I'm not disputing. I believe that Chris Haynes is tied into the KD network. What he says, I believe. But I believe this is KD pushing the envelope because he wants to be part of this, and Steve Kerr playing on that to let the Warriors know, hey, the cavalry's coming. Just hold on. If we can get one in Toronto.
It's almost psychology.
Absolutely. Makes Toronto prepare for KD and tells the team, we don't have to win this all by ourselves. KD's going to get here eventually. Just keep playing.
That's interesting. You bring KD to Toronto just so Raptors have to prepare for him.
Yes, absolutely. And you have to. Even though he never got – I don't know that he ever got out of his shower sandals.
I don't think he did.
And he has shot to this point. I've talked to a couple of people with this who have had this injury, and they said there is a high risk. You know, depending on where you are in the recovery period, there's a high risk of redoing it if you get out there and you're not right.
It's the Kawhi story is interesting. The last 4 series, his field goal percentage has gone down every series.
Yeah.
Do you think he's aware of that, and that plays a part in him leaving Toronto? The sense that this is all I got.
Yeah.
We can't make it. We can't make a move for a year. Now, in a year, Lowry's contract, Ibaka's contract, but he's hurt. His knee isn't 100%. Mm-hmm. His numbers are going down. You know how it is when you leave and make one of these big moves, married, divorced, whatever it is, pros, cons.
Yeah.
What do you make of his body, his fatigue, and how it plays in his future?
I can only go by what I know of Alex McKechnie, who works for the Raptors, worked for the Lakers once upon a time. A lot of faith in him, and Kawhi has a lot of faith in him. So that would be actually a plus in the Raptors' favor. You also have some younger players like Pascal Siakam, who you would expect are going to get better and are on the rise. And you are in the Eastern Conference, which is infinitely easier to get through than the West. So as far as his shooting percentage, Kawhi doesn't, I think he's oblivious to that. I think he has the Derrick Rose mentality of, it's my job to bring us home, and I am going to try to do that. What's been disappointing for me is that Nick Nurse was hired to be an offensive guru. That was his label. That's what the Raptors were supposed to get out of him. He's done a tremendous job in setting them up defensively, but offensively, they get very predictable at times. And part of it's Kawhi gets it. He feels the responsibility. I have to go get something, and
how about
everything
this?
bogs down.
Let me defend Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
Defense is effort. Okay,
Yes.
if you get guys to play hard, most of these guys are athletic. Offense is skill.
Yes.
Toronto's limited skill-wise,
Yes.
regardless of his great coaching.
But they lost game 2, not because they missed shots, but because they allowed the missed shots to affect them getting back. The Warriors are great, but they got so much in transition. You talked about how physically hampered they are. I think you would agree with me. Toronto is the better athletic team.
Yeah, they're longer for sure.
Right. There's no excuse. It wasn't where the turnovers were, the length of the missed shots. There weren't enough of those for me to say, the reason that the Warriors got everything they got in transition was because the turnovers at the top of the key or the long missed threes created long rebounds. The Raptors were missing shots, open shots, and did not play with the same energy getting back. And that, to me, is how they lost this game.
What do you do with Boogie Cousins? Highly skilled, can be a little temperamental, massively vital last night. What do they do with him?
You can bring him back. It's not, you're limited in terms of how much you can pay.
Well, Bogut's probably done. If Kevin Durant left, you have no size. You have no size.
Yes.
Eventually, you're going to have to play a Clint Capella, a Giannis, Toronto again.
This is what's interesting about Boogie's situation. So I've talked to both him and Kevon Looney about where they want to play, where they would continue their careers.
Right.
Kevon indicated that he would, all things being equal, he'd rather stay with the Warriors. In fact, kind of insinuated he might even give him a little hometown discount to stay.
Yeah.
Boogie made no such commitment. So I don't know where he is. I also don't believe that the market is going to be that great for him. The GMs that I've talked to have said nobody's given him a long-term deal. Somebody might load up on him for 1 year, and the question is then going to be, does Boogie want to get, say, 8 figures when he can't get that with the Warriors? Is that going to prompt him to go someplace else? Or does he look at this situation and say, let me get 1 more year with these guys and really rehab my image and physically show everybody I can play a full season?
I thought last night, I would make this argument. If Kevin Durant doesn't come back, Boogie becomes an essential size. Because Toronto's about as long as the league gets. Mm-hmm. I would make an argument, Kevin Durant doesn't come back, Boogie's going to have a nice series. He's going to be crucial.
He will. If I am Toronto, I'm making Boogie Cousins beat me. I'm saying, you want to post him up? You want to give him multiple runs at the rim? Have at it. He's not going to be able to sustain that energy, and that's going to slow everything down. They didn't really do that. And as a result, he was able to, as soon as the double team came, he's passing it and finding the open cutters. Again, there were so many cuts and plays made at the basket that was a lack of effort and execution defensively by the Raptors.
All right. Couple quick questions. Will Kevin Durant play in this series?
Yes, because I believe it's going to be a long series now. So, do I think he's going to play Game 3? I don't think he's going to play in Game 3.
My guess is Game 5.
That sounds about right. Again, part of this, what I'm wrestling with is what I've heard from people who don't think he should play, but knowing that KD wants to play and will probably push the envelope.
By the way, Joy, if you could look this up quickly, Game 5 is when? So Game 3 is Wednesday. Game 4 is Friday.
Yes.
Game
would be Sunday.
Is it Sunday or Monday?
Would be Sunday.
Okay, so we got 6 days for KD's calf.
Game 5 is Monday.
Okay, so Game 5 is Monday.
Game 5 is Monday.
So we're a week away. See, I believe Kevin Durant plays in a week. That's 6 days, 7 days of treatment.
So Thursday is 4 weeks. You're almost getting to 5.
Game 3 is on Wednesday. Game 4 is Friday. And Game 5 is on Monday.
Right.
They're screwing with the schedule this year.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
It used to be.
I mean, they want Game 7 to be on Sunday night.
Generally, I thought it was.
Well, it is.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's spaced out, yeah.
All right. Anything else you're mad at me about?
No, you know what? Thank you for letting me clear the air.
Hey, listen, I just gospel up here. Occasionally, there's some dissenters. There are some dissenters for my gospel. For the record, I said...
Just put the asterisk away. Come on.
I got to tell you, I'm on Rick's side with this.
You guys don't think it's an asterisk final?
No, I don't, because there's injuries all the time. I mean, we don't talk about Golden State's championships that way. Kyrie was out.
Yeah, exactly. Their first one.
There's no asterisk there.
Or the Cavs when they got one in Cleveland. Is anybody saying LeBron's championship in Cleveland was an asterisk?
Can you imagine Wednesday? Kevin Durant and Klay don't play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long season. That's the breaks.
That's what's kind of making this really intriguing. Is that
you're one of those series?
In fact, even if KD doesn't play, like the speculation of whether he's going to play or not has added some spice to this.
See, because I think the series needs KD for juice. I think it needs juice. Like, I want the Willis Reed moment. I want the Paul Pierce on a stretcher moment. I want Kevin...
What Iguodala wasn't enough? Klay, if he comes out and plays,
I want Kevin Durant to come back. I think it adds to the juice of the series. Some finals don't have as much juice. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.